My baby kitties also have crusty eyes. Yeah, you know, when cats have crusty eyes, like 99% of the time, it's because they have herpes. Basically, all cats have herpes. You know how like half of humans have oral herpes? Basically, all cats have cat herpes. And it makes their eyes goopy. Thankfully, it doesn't really hurt him. What a stupid species. True. Is it true that half of humans have herpes? How many humans have oral herpes? 50 to 80% of US adults have oral herpes, yes. Pretty much impossible to avoid, you know, unless you want people to get very expensive, like, disease tests before, like, kissing them or sharing a drink or anything else, which is not, like, practically feasible. You just have to accept the fact that at some point in your life, you either are going to have or probably already have herpes. Not a big deal. Yeah, they don't even test for it in STD tests anymore. If you get an STD test, it tests for, like, gonorrhea, chlamydia, you know, syphilis, you can get HIV test, of course, you know, that kind of stuff. But herpes, especially oral herpes, is so common, you know. By the way, not me. In spite of all of the people that I've kissed and fucked, I actually don't have oral herpes, you know. I shelled out for a full test recently because I was curious. And amazingly, I'm actually completely clean, which feels like a statistical improbability, but, you know, I'll stick with it. Hey, I got the documentation to prove it. No, you can't. I got it in fucking writing. So, yeah. Pretty good. You never had a cold sore before? Nope. I mean, I get ingrown hairs in my lips sometimes, but they're always where my mustache hair grows in. What does oral herpes do? For the vast majority of people, it means that like once or twice a year, you have a cold sore, which is basically just like a kind of painful zit. A little different, but yeah, basically. It's not a big deal. It's right around your lip. But for most people have no symptoms, you know? I thought herpes made you infertile. That's genital herpes, which is less common. I think that's about 15% of the population. And even then, the infertility is an extreme side effect. Antibacterial medicine can help you with either form of herpes. They're treatable, they're just not curable. But like, yeah, if you have like the worst genital herpes ever, or antiviral, not antibacterial, if you have the worst fucking genital herpes ever and you like let it fester because you're gross, then I guess maybe, but yeah. Is there a way to have sex without spreading herpes? Well, you'd have to, assuming you have herpes, but they don't, you'd have to not kiss them. Like, I wouldn't worry about it. Do you mean genital herpes? I wear a condom, but even that's not perfect, you know? You can take meds to lower the viral load of your herpes if you think you have like a flare-up or whatever, avoid sex, or making out with people if you have like a visible outbreak, which is pretty common. It's not a huge deal, you know? It'll go away. Yeah, it's fine. It's not a big deal, you know? Honestly, as sexually transmitted diseases go, over the past decade, like, we've come remarkably far. Antiviral medication for herpes is at a better place than it ever has been, both in terms of price and availability and effectiveness. The big STDs that used to kill lots of people, like syphilis and gonorrhea, can be cured. Not just treated, but cured, you know? It's all, we have, you know, we have the medicine for it now. And HIV, the big one, you know, the big one, oh yeah, HPV vaccines, yeah. And for HIV, the big one, you know, you can get admittedly expensive medicine that can either, you know, suppress the effects of having HIV and make it very difficult to spread it to other people. And also you can take medicine to make yourself basically immune to it. I forget, there's two different, one of them is called PrEP, the other one's called something else, but there's a medicine that you can take to basically make yourself immune to HIV. Grindr has like a distinguisher for it if you have it or don't, if you are or aren't on PrEP or whatever. And then there's one that you can take to reduce PEP and PrEP. Thank you. No wonder I get them confused. Google it, you know, whatever. And then the other one reduces your HIV viral load to the point where you basically can't give it to other people and your symptoms are heavily suppressed. Again, Google it. I'm no medical expert. It's very, very, very impressive medicine. I've been with someone who was HIV positive, but her viral load was non-existent for like 3 years. Yeah. Again, like it's basically conquered. Like seriously, it's, you know, it sounds kind of like over the top to say that. And obviously it's still gate kept behind fairly expensive medicine, though depending on where you are and what healthcare plans you have, you might be able to get it for free. But yeah, it's kind of wild to think that like HIV was essentially like the plague in the gay community just in the 1980s, and now it's, you know, that suppressible. Why would someone have sex if you could get herpes for life? Because sometimes it's really goopy and it's like mac and cheese, and you really want to get up in there, you know? You know when you're there, right? PrEP is several $1,000s a bottle without insurance in the US. Yeah, get insurance, I guess. Easy peasy. Oh, you meant the sex, not the herpes? I meant the sex. What? Herpes doesn't make you goopy. What are you I mean the pussy. What the fuck are you talking about? What? I was wondering why all of you were I meant put like fuck stir it up like mac and cheese. That's not a new. I didn't invent that. Like the goopy pussy. What do you mean? Like you're there and you're like, I would never have sex. That's risky. And then you see a goopy ass pussy and it's like, damn. Really? I knew what you meant. It's still gross. Okay. Okay. Whatever. I'm not arguing with your collective virginity today. Okay. We have stuff to talk about. Goopy is not really a positive description. Yeah, okay, well, all sex is at least a little bit gross, okay? It's just how it is, you know? It's just like slime, right? Like, it's just pussy mucus, and it's like, ah, man, well, it's gross from the nose, but it's okay from the pussy? Yeah, that's how it is. That's just how life is, you know? Get over it. Ah, man, it's like, cum is like snot, right? Like, when you blow a load in a chick's mouth, and she's like, thank you, as they do, cum is like weird, right? Like sex is just a bit get over it. It's fine. Goopy fucking sex snot, it's just what it is. Okay. That was a productive segment. Thank you. You've inspired me to a life of celibacy. Ah, darn. Yeah, the ultimate autistic desire to invent a kind of sex that has the same kinesthetic appeal of lightly tapping on a plate of metal with like a ball peen hammer or something. Just something completely like dry and neutered and mechanical. And then it's like, man, if sex was like that, I'd be doing it all the time. But instead it has to be all like goopy and shit, It has to be all goddamn goopy. Frauding? Frauding isn't dry. Okay, we're moving on. Stop. Enough. What? Don't step backwards, you buffoon.